A lot of money is wasted every year on marketing that does not work. It fails to fill the funnel with potential customers from the target market. This is because there's a fundamental disconnect between the way the marketers craft and deliver their message and the way it is received by people. Marketers usually craft their marketing message from their conscious mind. They naturally assume that this marketing message will be received and processed by the customer's conscious mind too. But given what we know now through neuroscience, this marketing message is first received and processed by the customer's unconscious mind. This has huge implications because the unconscious mind processes inputs in a totally different way than the conscious mind. It has its own unconscious cognitive biases, and based on that, it might mark the marketing message as spam. If this happens, then the marketing message does not even reach the conscious mind. This is why many of the marketing messages gets ignored. In fact, this also happens when you persuade or pitch to anyone in general. Let's understand as to why this really happens. Our brains have evolved into three layers: the inner brain, the midbrain, and the outer brain. All external information picked up by our senses arrives in a central location before it is sent out to any of these three brains. This central location is your inner center, which is also your point of awareness. Spirituality calls this point of awareness as soul or spirit, while science calls it your quantum point. They both mean the same thing. This information is then sent out for interpretation. It first goes to the inner brain, which is also our unconscious mind. This inner brain is involved with survival, so it processes information accordingly. The processing here involves unconscious cognitive bias. This bias is built based on the evolution of the species. The reason we call it a bias is because it changes the objective reality to subjective reality. If survival is not threatened, only then the inner brain sends it to the midbrain for further interpretation. This midbrain is our subconscious mind involved with emotions and thus processes information accordingly. The processing here involves subconscious cognitive bias. This bias is built on your past experiences as to what made you happy or sad. These are also referred to as our belief system. Also, these give birth to your desires, wants, and needs. If the information is favorable to your belief system and matches your desires, only then the midbrain sends it up to the outer brain for further interpretation. This outer brain is our conscious mind involved with rational and logical thinking and thus processes information accordingly. The processing involves conscious cognitive bias. This bias is built on your past know-how as to what works and what doesn't. These are also referred to as your acquired knowledge. One of the biggest mistakes you can make in marketing is to construct your marketing message for the prospect's conscious or rational mind. Remember, the message is first processed by the prospect's unconscious mind, then subconscious, and finally the conscious mind. This is why the biggest marketing guru of our generation, Steve Jobs, never started with the technical details when launching Apple products. As an example, when he launched the highly portable MacBook Air laptop, he put that in an office envelope to showcase how thin and light it was. He conveyed that you could just carry it in an office envelope. He did the same thing when launching iPod by pulling it out of his jeans mini pocket to just showcase how small it was. He conveyed that you could carry thousands of songs in your pocket. In both cases, he talked about the technical specs much later. The technical specs appeal to the conscious and rational mind. So he always crafted his marketing message to appeal to the unconscious first, subconscious second, and conscious third. Thus, the first thing in crafting your marketing message is to understand the unconscious cognitive bias. Since this part of the mind is all about survival, it is self-centered. So addressing to you in the marketing message makes a big difference. I'll quote an example here to illustrate this. There was a homeless guy who was standing with a board, "Please help this homeless man." People weren't giving him a lot of money. One gentleman felt compassionate and gave him some money, but also tried to help him in another way. He said, "I will change your board, which will get more people to pay attention and also give you more money." He changed the board to say, "What if you were hungry?" This had a big impact. More people who read the board stopped to give money. Also, the average money collected per person was much more. So, what changed? It was the word "you" that appealed to the unconscious cognitive bias. Also, since the unconscious cognitive bias is all about survival, it's fast and in the present. So, in the marketing message, it's best to use visuals. Never use complicated words. It cannot understand a flexible solution, an integrated approach, a scalable solution, etc. Moreover, it's best to show tangible benefits. Also, it likes contrast. This is the reason why all weight loss advertisements show before and after pictures. Once the marketing message is accepted by the unconscious mind, only then it is sent up to the subconscious mind. This mind is all about emotions, so it can understand stories better. Research shows that it likes stories that have good beginning and a good ending. This is the reason why most viral advertisements are emotional stories. Also, let's understand the subconscious cognitive bias. This would help in making your marketing message more appealing to the subconscious mind of people in your target market. Unlike the unconscious cognitive bias, which is similar to all humans, the subconscious cognitive bias is more individualized. This is formed based on life experiences. Any incident growing up that had a strong emotional impact becomes part of your subconscious cognitive bias. At a granular level, it is as unique as one's fingerprint. This drives the individual's desires, wants, and needs. The real core reason why individuals buy things is to get to a desired state of being by owning those things. We buy things to get to a desired state of being that gives us more freedom or love or purpose in life. So individuals who had life experiences in which there was lack of freedom will always desire, want, and need to buy things which gives them more freedom. So as a marketer, you need to first understand as to what state of being does your product fulfill. You can then include that in your marketing message, either implicitly or explicitly. What this would do is that for people who are seeking that state of being at a subconscious level, will automatically engage with your marketing message by, say, clicking on your advertisement. It's really their subconscious cognitive bias that made them click on your advertisement. Also, understanding what state of being your product fulfills will help in identifying the correct market to launch your advertisement. The target market would be people who are all desiring the same state of being. As an example, if your product or service is about dating, then that fulfills a state of being of love. So your target market should be singles. If your product or service is about making more money, then that fulfills a state of being of freedom. So your target market should be people who are stuck in their career. If you choose your target market correctly, then there's a higher probability of people engaging with your marketing message and advertisement. This will get potential customers into the funnel. Sales can then take it to the next level by engaging with them individually. They can dig deeper into the individual's subconscious cognitive bias to figure out exactly what they desire, want, and need. At this stage, sales can also go beyond the subconscious into the individual's conscious cognitive bias. If required, they can educate the prospect with technical specs for the conscious mind to transfer certainty and close the sale. In summary, it is important to remember that although you craft your marketing message using your conscious mind, that is not where it's going to be first received by the prospect. It is first received by the unconscious mind of the prospect, then subconscious, and finally the conscious. So be mindful of what the unconscious wants. Come learn more about putting this marketing strategy into action at UpTinker. It's going to help you in building your startup. Reach out to us using the link below. And thank you for watching.